So my name is D-Rella. I actually go by Rilla sometimes, like when I'm singing. But my name is D-Rella. It's a Nigerian name from my dad's side. I'm from South Louisiana, actually Lafayette, Louisiana. Food's really good here. Um, Not too big a music scene, but definitely working on that. Rapping, singing, just giving out my experiences and my understandings. Trying to share something with somebody that they can do something with. Personally, if they can feel the music. And part of my journey like is just always coming up making music. I had a friend I was really making music really close with. He passed a couple years ago, really bad way. And my brothers always did it. Brothers, couple years older than me, moved to the West Coast when I was a teenager. He was doing that. I didn't really start it more till later, and I just picked it up and always just kind of had a love for it. So,
Okay.
Worked on it, did track, went to school, dropped out, went, job in the oil field here or something. I sold cars, but I quit selling cars because it's like I was going crazy now creating music.
All right.
And I had a journey just between that, and I kind of share my understanding that I gained from those times and in life in general, and kind of put it all together that way.
Okay.
As an
indie artist, what defines your sound? What is your sound like? What would what should the listeners expect from Drilla?
Yeah, for me, you can expect, just talking about, times with maybe with a lady, just, real life feelings and just kind of going through, some of the day's thoughts in a way that I can process them and kind of give myself a little bit of therapy, even when I'm making it. So,
okay.
You can expect that, but you can also expect to dance, and you can expect that I'm gonna be singing something sexy, sometimes. And we still talk about real life, regular stuff, money and grinding, and just getting that mindset right. So that's kind of mostly what you're gonna kind of hear from me.
But something I took from what you said was really really powerful. Therapy for yourself. And music is therapy. Yeah. Music is healing. That was great that you added that in. Are you're producing? You collaborate with others for the track that you're sending in that we're going to promote on the radio. Who's the producer on that track with you?
On that track that I have, Bad Getting.
Yes.
Mose is the producer on that one. Mose is from Lake Charles, Louisiana, and
all right.
Me and him go way back.
Okay, so Lake Charles is so Louisiana. You got that's like another city over from your city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Lafayette.
Okay.
Lake Charles is about an hour away. They got hit real bad by a hurricane earlier this hurricane season. That city actually. But,
wow.
Yes.
Wow. You guys weren't affected as much.
No, not as much. It's been a little bit better.
Okay. Here, Okay. What's the music scene like for indie artists out there prior to our new norm? Did you guys have spaces and places to come and be in the midst of other artists? Like in New York, prior to our pandemic, we have a huge music scene when I'm in New York or if we're in LA. What is the music scene like for indie artists in Lafayette?
It seems like the music scene for like indies is really, the crowd is not that attentive. I would say the crowd more, when an artist comes from out the city, they're gonna come out more than the artist that's in the city. But I just think that's because of the way people mingle among the city and stuff like that. That always, people always have their own people that it's just a different kind of place. There are some places that do gather and they do bring people together. Most of the people that are there might even be artists. It's kind of it's kind of like it'll probably be more artists than they can bring the crowd out for the time, you know. But I just think that that was because, you know, there really was no business that was designed to do that. Like they, you know, some artists have broke out from here. You know, Cupid's came out from here.
Okay.
Cupid Shuffle, that was his one hit he had. You know, now it's been around the world. You know,
Right. Exactly.
but you know, Cupid he still does his thing locally too. There are some artists that are local. I'm not gonna say there aren't any, but as far as like breaking out, it would be so rare that you even hear about it. I mean, everybody kind of knows who makes music, but they either listening or they're not. And you know, the artists that are there, they on the radio or something. And then if you're not on the radio, you kind of, you know, it's a weird little space.
Okay,
but I guess the world's changing, so you know.
Right. That's exactly what this space is for, to promote the indie artists. You know, excuse, being an artist myself, I know what it's like. So I'm totally for the indie artists, and I know what we must do to make it work when we don't have the big machines behind us. You know, I know what we have to do to make it work when the big machine is not behind us. So where could listeners find you? Give me all your handles where listeners can find you when they listen on the radio, so they can find you, they can follow you, and they can, you know more about the man behind the music.
All right, for sure. I mean, you can find me on Instagram, first of all, at I am D-Rella. I have a website, it's nowyoudo.com, just like now, the word now, you, and then do, like do.
Okay.
You know, do.com. And I have a little merch on there. I have subscribe to my music profiles on Spotify or Apple Music.
All right.
You know, and you know all the other major ones as well, just under D-Rella, which is DIREALA. So just like D-I-Rilla.
Okay. Are you on Twitter as well?
Oh yeah, I talk a little bit of trash on Twitter, and sometimes I get my mind right on Twitter. It's the same as Instagram. I am D-Rella.
Okay. Bandcamp? Any Bandcamp? Any of the others? Platform?
I've got Reverb Nation, SoundCloud.
Okay. And it's all under
YouTube. YouTube is Trap Free Music. I have a few music videos on there.
Okay.
And some other songs.
Okay.
And Audio Mag.
All right. They can find you at many of the platforms. I just wanted to make sure. So the song that we're going to be promoting on the radio for the Film, Food, and More Virtual Artist of the Month, what's the name of that song and title of that song?
That song is going to be Bag Getting.
Bag Getting.
And that one's produced by Mose. Yeah.
All right. What inspired Bag Getting? What is the inspiration behind that?
It's kind of like just I reflected on some relationships and at a moment, and I was like, man, like what's this relationship getting me? Not from that perspective, but it's more along the lines of like, you know, sometimes I was the prey, or sometimes it wasn't, you know, you just from that perspective, and then kind of placing things in the perspective, not as like you're the prey, but just be like, okay, I need to get on it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it was wrong, but I just wasn't what I should have been in that relationship, or I didn't, you know, I didn't obtain it like I could, or whatever the case might be. But it's more about getting my mind right and just everything else, you know.
Oh, I noticed a lot of things. That's why I am a fan of your music, because a lot of your things is about real life stuff, and that's what people want to hear. A lot of your stuff is real, you know, life stuff, and with a twist of entertainment and fun, but there's life in there, real life things. So that's a plus. Where do you see, in closing, where do you see yourself, you know, as an indie artist? What do you want? What do you want out of this? Why do you do what you do? And what's the end result for you?
I do what I do, you know, for reaching people. But it's all glory. I kind of say, honestly, all just glory to God with it. Like just from, like I said, the experiences we go through, and then having that understanding. Like I grew up without my dad, so a lot of understanding I might didn't have. I maybe used to listen to this artist, like, you know, as artists I used to listen to growing up. You know, Papoose is one, like King Los and Lupe, and like, you know, all these other artists too that I still
Papoose is
listen
a
to.
New
You
Yorker.
know,
That's a New
Kendrick,
Yorker.
whoever. But
Papoose is
yeah,
a New Yorker.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. He put out this mixtape and he put this song on it. It was like rapping with Pap. It was a mixtape he did with a lot of indie artists, and I got mine on. Got 2 songs on there.
Okay.
It was Bad Getting and White Clouds, which is produced by Trackstar. That's the homie I grew up with.
Nice.
Same neighborhood, everything.
Nice.
But yeah, just like I said, you know, a lot of us grew up without our dads and stuff like that. And, you know, it's maybe the best way to even get some of that you could have got. Like, because I did get some of what I could have got from my dad, probably from a rapper at some point in my life. I'm more than certain that's the case, because a lot of stuff I know people around me don't understand. So it ain't like, you know, it ain't like nobody's taught it to me right in my face like that. So I probably got some game from somewhere like that. And it's just paying homage, giving back, you know, and
that's amazing.
You know,
and that's amazing to give in that sense of rap, because, you know, we hear so many things about rap and hip hop. The fact that you said that puts it in a whole nother light and a whole nother perspective, that people need to see that this little boy or this little girl somewhere, what they got, you know, from this rap. And this is why, without naming any rapper's name on larger platforms, I say this a lot when I have conversations with people, and they're like, well, that particular artist is just doing what they do. I said, but for the little boy, you just clarified everything that I say. For the little boy or the little girl home without a role model, they become the role model. So it can be a curse and a blessing if the message is all negative. If the message is all negative and the message is just about getting money and just about living that life and popping bottles, what else is there? You know, for that little... So remember, just like you said, for the little boy or the little girl without a dad, or so sometimes it's not just the dad, sometimes it's absentee both parents.
Yeah.
Imagine what that can do to them if they are influenced by someone who don't feed them any good. You know what I'm saying? So again, I didn't say any name.
Yeah.
But I just
know
had
exactly what it can do. I know exactly what it can do, man.
Like, right. You know,
I even know, you know, I know how I can get it sometimes. You know, it's just, you know, we all human. It's like, man, I know what it can do. So it's crazy, you know.
That's what it is. It's totally crazy.
Yeah, it's a beast.
And that's my point. And that's what I say to people when I have that conversation, without dogging anybody out, because they go through this whole battle. You're not a role model. You are a role model when you have millions of people following you. Whether you want to take on the role, that's a whole different story, but you are. You know, you are.
Yeah, I got a song called Whole Nother Story. And that's
you got a song? So we're going to have to hear that too, A Whole Nother Story.
It's called Whole Nother Story.
You tell your listeners and you tell your fans, and I want you to go on all your platforms and let them know that you're going to be on rotation. The DNAradio.net is DNAradio.net, and your song will be on rotation there. You know, you promote. That's another thing about indie artists. They don't understand. When somebody's having a platform for you and opening up a door, they're like, well, what's happening? What's happening is you got to put 50 cents in. You got to put 50% of it in, 50-50 in anything you do. You know, somebody riding for you and rocking for you, ride for yourself just as hard. And I don't think people get that. You know what I mean? I really don't think people get that. I remember a quick story, starting out as a session singer and singing with a lot of top producers and doing a lot of things. When I then had the platform to invite people in, I would know the girl in the hood or the guy in the hood who can sing really, really well. And I wanted to put them on because that's how I was put on. The first person who actually put me on was KRS-One. KRS-One. That's crazy. Wow. KRS-One. KRS-One. Yeah. And it had nothing to do with rap. I'm not a rapper. He was like, I heard you can sing. He heard through somebody. He was like, I heard you can sing, kid. and he was working with a girl named Simone Allen, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that was his wife then or artist he was working with, but whatever it was, I came into the studio and worked with him. But the person who's helped me the most and groomed, and I was under him a lot, was a guy named Rufus Black. Rufus Black is from Ohio. You ever heard of Rufus Black? You have to hear about my brother, my mentor, all of the above.
I've heard the name before.
Rufus Black from Youngstown, Ohio.
I think I've heard the name. I'm pretty sure I heard the name before.
Yeah. You definitely heard of him. So yeah, so what I would say is to get back to that story. When you're an artist or an indie artist and about the promoting and doing things for yourself, I remember when I then had the opportunity to bring people in, like they would say, hey, you know somebody, we need some background vocals. I remember bringing people in, or I'll ask a girl, hey, are you available? And the infamous, what's the pay? Who is it for? You know, what's the pay? The grind and the hustle for people is like now you singing in your living room to your family. You never know what opportunity you can get by coming, out, and just singing in a room. You don't know who's in the room. You understand what I'm saying? Some of my biggest opportunities came from me agreeing to do something. Another former, she wasn't a manager. She was an acting manager. She was just somebody who rode for me and looked out for me. Sent my tape to Nate Dogg's manager, to Nate Dogg's then manager. I don't remember his name off the bat, but that relationship from sending in a demo, Nate Dogg became my brother, mentor, navigated things for me, helped me get my first publishing deal. So what I would say to that is, for the indie artists and whatnot, sometimes, man, you got to do things for free. You have to make connections and make lasting connections, and make connections, and don't burn bridges. Don't burn bridges. The one advice I can give to anybody and to you, and pass it on, don't burn bridges, because the music business, like anything in entertainment, fashion is one big cyclone, or whatever you want to call a washing machine, where that shit just goes around and around. You will meet up with that person again, some way. So don't burn bridges, and don't burn bridges. Remember, and be respectful, and if it don't work for you with somebody, then don't work with them. But don't burn bridges, and be careful what you say in those spaces and in those places that may offend someone, because they're tight. They already made it. They're friends. They're colleagues. You the new kid coming in. You know what I mean? They're colleagues. You don't want to be the difficult guy, or label the difficult person. So in closing, I appreciate your time and your energy. I told you the space is the new Indie Live Virtuals, because that's where the world is going, and that's what it's about. I have this platform now to promote music, and that's what this is about, with no gimmicks, no gimmicks here, like a lot of places will send this and sell this and you can get here, and for 1,000 subscribers, and if you tell this person no. I just want anyone who's on this platform that that I'm bringing into this situation to promote. You promote, just as well. Let people know where you're at, post on the sites, and get the word out for yourself that, like, hey, my song is streaming and I'm here.
Oh yeah,
okay. I know you are.
I kind of been doing something. Like I said, I just got to get some more money. But
right,
yeah,
right. That's probably the thing that all artists need. Some more money, right? If you ask any, so I won't even ask you the question. If you ask any artist, what do you need? What's hindering your growth? Money. But it'll come. It'll come. It's gonna come.
Yeah.
It's gonna come because you're grind. It's gonna come for you. Remember this conversation that we had. Something's gonna come out of this. We would have been in LA again. Remember, we was in LA. I was planning on being there. They sent me tickets again. They sent me free comp tickets like they did that year. I was on my way back to Los Angeles. But then this happened.
Yeah.
You know, I was on my way to Los Angeles. You know what I mean? To be.
Yeah, I went last year. I wanted to go this year, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not happening, and we know why. Don't give that word any more power. But this too shall pass. And what I say in closing is, we just got to remember to keep our faith stronger than our fears in this. And I believe. I spoke to Granny, who's an old wise woman, and she said there's been worse, and we've gotten over it, and we'll get through this too. And that's about it. You know, I don't like to preach to the choir about wear the mask, but we got to be smart. We got to wash our hands, and if that's what they're saying, it's going to keep it down. It won't hurt us. Wear your mask when you're out in public, and let's just make this happen.
Yeah, I got one in the jacket.
You got it in there. So next summer, next year, next year, man, we could be back out. We could be back. I could see you in LA. You know what I mean? I'll see you in Los Angeles again. You know what I mean? So I appreciate.
Yeah, no doubt.
Appreciate you. Send me over all of the information that you need, as we said, and the drops, and let's get this rolling, and let's let the world know who you are when they hear you on DNARadio.net, and your song will be streaming. All right? Have a good rest of your day. Be safe. All right, man.
Later, you too.
All right.